light in the sky, nobody there to reason why. Here I am, I'm not really there, smiling faces ever so rare. Let's walk in deepest space, living here just isn't the place. Sparks of light come from the ground. When I cry, there isn't a sound. All my feelings cannot be held. I'm happy in my new strange world. Shades of green, grasses twine. Girls drinking glass more wine. I look at love, a dream unfolds. Living here, you'll never grow old.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. Monte The Pharaoh, only seen here out of Tin Mirror Studios, Kings Park, Long Island, where Jimmy, back from Florida, shaking your hand again.
Yeah.
How did you recover from last night?
No.
That was a rough one, right?
It was kind of frightening. I thought I was watching a bad Bela Lugosi rerun.
It was pretty bad.
But Abe is here. Why don't you say that Abe's here?
Abe, the producer, Abe, our savior. Abe, glad to have you, buddy.
There he is. What's up,
Thank
Abe?
God. I was telling Jimmy that when I saw Abe's face, I haven't seen Abe in a long time.
Did you cry?
Close.
Right.
But I felt this.
Because Abe has that kind of effect.
But I felt this calmness.
Yeah.
Listen,
same.
last night, now, I've had a temper, and as I've gotten older, it's
not
calmed
you.
down. Last night, I was very professional. I stayed very calm.
You were
I
very
dealt
sweet.
with
You were sweet.
everything that went on.
You were a
and
sweet
you were
guy.
very good.
Yeah, I'm getting mellower.
Big event tomorrow.
Big event.
I'm very excited
Tomorrow,
for that.
yes.
And here starts the kickoff. We were going to start with Bruiser Brody's widowed wife.
Yes, Barbara Goodish. Correct.
Unfortunately, we couldn't get anything.
We experienced
Couldn't-
technical difficulties.
technical difficulties,
Please
yeah.
stand by.
Yes. And then
right.
on the live show,
Yeah.
we did get a full hour of Mitch's back of his head. So that was good. So, you know,
How do I look? Do I look right?
if we're expecting to get any more
If I move this way, can you see me
if we're
better?
going to get any more Jim Beam sponsors, I
Oh,
think things
please.
will have to change.
Dude.
Because, I'm just saying.
I think Meisterbrow is not even calling
But you know
right
what?
now,
The
if that's
recovery
what you're
has
getting
happened.
at. So.
We've got the OVW Women's Champion, J-Rod, in house. J-Rod, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. Hello.
I will say
hello.
we've had a short conversation before it started, and I will officially announce that you are my favorite guest of all time.
We haven't even
We've had
started.
Scott Hall, Bob Backlund. Doesn't matter. You are officially my favorite guest.
Wow. You are really
don't know what else to
buttering
say.
her up.
I'm gonna butter her up
I'll
like a
take
bagel.
it.
Okay.
Like
all
a
right.
bagel.
Very good.
So tell
Very
us,
good.
what are you doing here in New York? Obviously here for the big event, but how do you? What's going on? What are you doing here?
Yeah, exactly. I'm here for the big event today, or tomorrow it is. And yeah, I'll be autograph signing, doing the whole shebang.
Now, do you do a lot of these events?
Yeah, I've done some WrestleCons, but I haven't done too many of like the Comic-Cons and that sort of thing. So this will be a really cool time to kind of see what the big event's all about.
Well, so again, I'm older than dirt. You're a young, beautiful woman. Not trying to be offensive here, but I mean, how is it at these events? Like these guys, are they like just like, hi, oh, can I take it? Like, what is that? Like, what's that? Like, how do you deal with that?
Hey, I was a bartender at one point in my life.
She's heard
So
it
you
all.
yeah, I've heard it all.
Yeah.
So you could just kind of, I feel like that was training for this wrestling industry.
But I understand you're at a bar, and I'm assuming high level bar kinda, or is it like Roadhouse
college
type of bar?
college bar,
Roadhouse, you know that movie?
Yeah, maybe.
Not really. So, the thing about wrestler fans, though, they rarely shower. So, I mean, at least you're getting, at the bar,
Mike,
normal people.
we want people to come see her. tomorrow. And guys, do us a favor. Take a shower before you come to meet her. Do us a favor. You know, you might want to use a little, little soap, a little lather.
All right. Quick news item.
Have you been stalked yet?
Oh, my God. I'm sure you have.
You have to have been.
No, but I do block the occasional person
Nice.
on social media, but not necessarily stalked.
Cool.
So
Okay.
hopefully,
That's good to hear.
Hopefully that never happens.
Oh, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Oh, but especially after tomorrow.
This is pro wrestling. Yeah, right.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, sign my shoe. This guy's weird. Where do you live? I have all your memorabilia. You'd be like, get this guy off my line.
And
my
you're
God.
just starting, right? How long have you been wrestling for?
So COVID, I kind of take away those 2 years. So I say about 4 years total and then 2 years on the independent scene. So, yep, still very new to the industry.
When you say take away, did you actually skip completely? You like stayed out of it? You like hung out
Yeah.
like, in the kitchen like, I'm not going out, I'm not wrestling for these 2 years?
Well, there weren't events
Yeah,
because,
that's
you
true.
know, and then training, they didn't allow
Right.
like people to go into places and train and be together. So, yeah, it was kind of
Wow.
a good amount of time.
So you're college educated,
I am.
right? And your parents are proud as hell, right? You went
Yes.
to college. My daughter, look at her.
Oh, here it comes.
Look at her.
But
I'm
here it
so
comes.
proud.
Here it comes.
But here comes,
Here it comes.
hey, Mom and Dad, I want to be a wrestler.
What?
How is that conversation take place?
I feel like
I gotta know. I gotta know.
it's mom and dad, two different, I feel like conversations. My dad, you know, are you sure? Let's find something sustainable
Okay.
and in that way. And then my mom, on the other hand, very supportive and
Really?
encouraging and think
Awesome.
it's really cool in that way. I mean, my dad has come around. He sees kind of how things are going and he's super proud and supportive. But
Right.
at first, you know, he wanted that sense of security for me in that way.
But at least it sounds like he wasn't bashing your thoughts about it. He just was concerned.
Yes, exactly.
All right, you looked out there.
But
You
why
got two
did you
good
want to
parents
become a
there.
wrestler, though?
So for me, it was more of like, what is my purpose? What am I meant to do? My calling. So it does go very deep. But for me, I love traveling. I am an athlete. I did volleyball, softball, cheer, track, gymnastics, all of these different sports. I love being a mentor to young kids and young ones. I even thought of maybe considering teaching, that sort of thing. And then also I'm a foodie, so traveling to eat food everywhere. I'm like, what is it that I can do all of these things, also make money and live out like what I feel can also challenge me and that way. So when I found wrestling, it was one of those things that I was like, this is it. This is what I'm meant to do. So
Wow.
Being a foodie, you realize where you are right now.
exactly.
You're in New York.
I need all the food recommendations.
Here, ask
so
this
please.
guy. He's bigger than me.
Well, I will tell you this. At least you were with a good agent. If she was with Sims,
Oh,
she'd
she's
be
getting
eating-
checkers.
She's getting like, at least Richie's going to bring her to some decent
Yeah,
places.
probably. Yeah.
About your life. So now you're going into this wrestling career, right? You have to know that your personal life is going to change then. It would be difficult to build any kind of relationship. Are you prepared for that? Or am I wrong? Maybe you can. I have no idea.
No, it definitely is super difficult, especially in that way. I do have a dog and I feel even bad for my dog.
Yeah.
So I couldn't imagine having like kids in this industry in that way. Unless they're on the road with you, like some of the wrestlers do have. But yeah, no, it's definitely difficult. It takes a lot of sacrifice and commitment and just willingness to do what it takes. So
Well, what's important to me is you're a dog person, right? Because right there,
I'm
knew I
a
was
cat
gonna
person. One of my less important.
You don't like cats?
Really?
I like cats, but my dad was always allergic. So I always, ended
Yeah,
up
that
with
takes care
dogs.
of that.
Don't you feel like a cat is kind of aloof?
Don't
like
you?
they really don't
start,
care
man.
about
Cats
you?
are geniuses, and you're not. Shut up. Stop it. Don't pick on cats. Cats ruled the universe in ancient Egypt. Lay off cats.
I do love cats, but I love
No,
dogs
no, you
more.
don't. You're
I
lying.
love dogs
You really
more.
don't like cats. You're
What do you
just
think,
trying to
she's
be
playing
nice to the guy.
Switzerland with cats?
She
You
just
know
doesn't
the
want to
cats
upset
that
you.
kind of act like dogs? I
No,
really like.
Really?
Yes.
Cats do act
One
like
of my
Yes.
cats acts like a dog.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Really.
yeah. You can like
He
call
likes belly
them.
rubs?
Yep.
Yeah. He does the belly rub.
All right, so now that we've all made nice with each other, let's get
Nice,
into some real important
nice.
stuff.
Oh gosh.
Here we go.
All right, go ahead. What do you got?
We have
Nice,
a new
nice.
president.
Yes, we do.
gosh.
In the news.
Oh, jeez. Judging by her, oh, gosh. This is going to be a lot of fun for her. Go ahead.
The View hosts are out of control, right? Whoopi Goldberg's angry.
The View.
They don't want to mention his name, but I got to ask you, young person,
Yeah.
going to be famous, going to be sooner or later.
Yeah.
I'm always afraid like you're going to say you're going to be a WWE star because I don't want your family over at OVW to be like, oh, she really is just using us because she's going to be a WWE star. But I'll just say it anyway. When you're a WWE star. But
Thank you.
I want to know, as a young person, how do you feel about the last election? Which was just a couple of days ago.
Am I allowed to not comment?
You are allowed to not comment anytime you
Of
want.
course.
You do
Okay.
not have to.
Of course.
You do not have to answer the question.
Okay.
So I'll restructure it. How do you feel about the United States in general at this point? What's going on? The upheaval that's happening.
The upheaval, you said?
Upheaval.
Oh, upheaval.
How everybody's so divided.
Yeah, that's a better way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that there's definite division.
Oh, yeah.
And so maybe, hopefully, that doesn't, I don't know how to maybe say, maybe we come into more like peaceful thinking and more of understanding and communicating with each other and
Right.
and maybe coming together more and realizing, hey, maybe we shouldn't be foes. We should be friends.
That's fair. That's fair enough. I mean,
How can we pull that off with
Yeah.
with the internet?
With the
Because
internet.
the internet allows everybody to just say whatever they want, which is why we have extreme opinions on both of the sides that are divided. So how the heck can we fix that when there's the internet
which, by the way, if
involved?
I could add on to that, as a wrestler and as an up-and-coming wrestler, how much internet hate do you get, or that, and is it hard for you to deal with, or is it something you easily brush off?
Trolls. Interesting.
Yeah, there are maybe a few trolls, none that necessarily have the balls to say anything too crazy yet.
Yet.
Okay.
Yet,
The bigger
keyword.
you get, the bigger they get with their keyboard fingers, yeah.
Exactly. So thankfully, I haven't come into too many haters as far as like directing anything towards me specifically. But of course, people talk behind people's backs all the time. So who knows
Right.
what they're saying behind my back? But to my face, not many people, or through keyboard, not many people have yet come at me too much. Maybe because I don't necessarily talk politics.
Well, no,
Smart,
and
though.
which is
That's
smart.
smart, quite honestly.
But it's funny you mention that. So here's a question. We always mention pro wrestling as being this microcosm of the world in legitimacy, right? But
Yes.
you're this integrated family or a smaller family, no matter what organization you're working for. So in OVW, being that you're the women's champion and you have a pretty decent roster, and to be honest with you, it's been successful, and we'll discuss OVW a little more. How is that? Is there a lot of backbiting in OVW, or is it kumbaya?
I would say they've been super welcoming to me. At first, when I came in, pretty abruptly, just moved to Nashville, made the commute to Louisville to start working with OVW. And pretty much my first day, I won the Rumble and then faced Layla and ended up champion. So I put a quite of a big target on my back. But I'd like to say that I do have good professionalism and keep things I feel like I'm a peaceful
but
type person.
Tell me how that happens here, right? So you're not necessarily established yet. You're this young wrestler. How do you get brought to OVW, and how is it like? You know what, Jay?
you got an instant.
You're the champion.
You got an
Like,
instantaneous
how does that
push.
happen?
Instantaneous push.
But I did train with WWE Hall of Famer Rikishi prior to coming to OVW. And
He didn't give you a stank face. Please don't tell me.
thank goodness he did not.
All right, I'm just checking. Why? Training. I want to know what's going on here.
But,
ahead.
they're friends and legends, talk in that sort of way. So when I decided to make that move and commitment, I prefaced OVW that I would be moving to the area to hopefully get some opportunities with them. So just having that right away was really cool. And the fact that I'm still champion shows, I feel like, that they are respectful of me in that way. So it's really cool. And I hope to continue to make them proud.
How long is the reign currently?
since August. I don't know how many
Nice.
days that is now.
Okay.
No, that's
Yeah,
not.
That's fine.
So are you
So far, so
saying
good.
that Rikishi kind of like gave you the rub and said, "Look, you want to push women's wrestling? This is the one to go with."
Yeah.
And people will list. That's great.
Yeah, he's very outspoken about it. We'll put it on his social media even. So it's pretty cool to see and to have someone of his caliber like posting in that way was really cool and amazing and something I'll never, ever forget.
How do you handle that personally, though? So you know you're going into this area and you know what's about to happen. And, I mean, come on. You're a smart lady, right? It's like, you know, shit, there's going to be some heat. Like, people have been hanging around there for a while. I mean, forgive me, the one that was on the Netflix series that got really popular for a bit, she could not have been happy that here comes this newbie and bam, she's our champion.
Yeah. So it did put a huge target on my back, but thankfully, kill him with kindness is my motto. So
No hazing attempts.
no.
Wow. Okay.
I do. Al Snow and I will definitely. He's big into dad jokes and pranks and hazing in that way. So he'll make sure he put me in a street fight my very next match after I won. So he knew, okay, we can't just let this girl be champion. We've got to really show her what she's coming into over here, you know.
Right.
So,
Right.
but I don't take challenges lightly, and I took that challenge, and I'm willing to continue to take any challenge that's put in my way.
You've let the fans at home know, of course, that you play the role of a heel. How would you describe to the fan who hasn't seen you yet, what is your in-ring deal? What are you in the ring?
So, as OVW Women's Champion, I'm a heel. There are some promotions I'm still babyface at, so it's kind of it
But
depends on where you.
Your wrestling style. This is where I turn into the nerd.
Yes.
Your wrestling style. What would it be? Are you Smash Mouth? Are you Cartwheel City? Are you somewhere in between?
I would say I'm somewhere in between. I like to be more technical as well as aggressive, and just try to maintain that aura in the ring, as well as just dominant. I feel like I'm a dominant force in the wrestling ring and the women's division. So watch out.
Watch out. If you didn't know, you are watching Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte The Pharaoh, only seen here out of Tin Mirror Studios. Catch us on the Monte The Pharaoh YouTube page and Monte The Pharaoh Facebook Live page. Hear us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, or anywhere you can hear audio, where we're on the new distributor, Believe.
Right.
And if you're lucky enough to live in New York, you can see these two old guys.
Would you stop? We're elder statesmen. We're not old. Make
really
us sound
bothers you,
dignified.
doesn't it, really?
Because I'm not old. I'm not middle-aged.
At what point are you
but
going
I'm
to be
not
old? I want to know.
Honestly?
Yeah, I do. Honestly, yeah, I want to know.
When I look in the mirror one night and I finally go, okay, the rock and roll party's over, because I've stayed 20 in my mind. You see, I do agree with, and here he comes, my best buddy and yours, Charlie Manson. Your prison in life is not the prison jail cell material stuff. Your prison's between your ears. And you can either make it a prison or you can make it a freedom
So you're
park.
saying just act
So
young.
I've always
and
been
it's all
20
matters.
between my ears.
Gotcha.
The day that I look in the mirror and go, you know what, bro? I think you're officially old. I guess my body will tell me that, but I'm not there yet. So stop calling us old.
Well, if you're lucky enough to live in New York, catch
Fair
us
enough.
on Friday
Fair
nights
enough.
at 11:30 p.m. on Channel 115, and on Saturday nights at 12:30 a.m.
You're in bed.
Which
You're old.
I'm old. Yeah. And Channel 20 at 12:30 a.m., where over 150,000 fans will see the OVW Women's Champion, who we have the honor to gracing the studio. And you know what the best part about this, Jimmy? I think about this.
What?
Is when she eventually makes it to the big time, which I
Right.
don't think will be very long.
Right.
We will have this interview in the books.
In the library.
And when she
Right.
catches fire, people will
Right.
be all over it.
But just as long as it doesn't turn out like Animal House when they booked the band for the frat party and then they went to the bar and the same band was there and they said, wait till Otis sees us. He loves us. And they wave to them and the band's like, who the fuck are these guys? So if she like makes it big and we're like, hey, you know, it's Monte the Pharaoh.
When
And
she
she's
makes
like,
it big,
who the
when she
hell are
makes
these
it big,
guys?
there'll be a message on my phone. Can you please take that video down? Oh yeah,
Right.
There's another one. Yep. There's another one.
Yep.
I don't want to be known with you guys. You're wearing a sweatsuit now, but we could see you in outfit. How do you keep yourself in such great physical condition?
Ooh.
I mean, you're You're a beast.
Thank you. Thank you. I do a bodybuilding type regimen to kind of stay healthy and fit and look the part.
What's the regimen? I want to
The
hear
regimen. So I go to the gym, probably about an hour and a half total. I get about 20-25 minutes of cardio, and then depending on the day, so I break up my days into different like workout days. So some days I'll do chest, some days I'll do back. I always end the workout with abs, just to kind of top off your core. And then sauna, steam room. The gym that I go to has like the hydro beds and like the ways to kind of relax and recover as well. So I think recovery is just as important. Make sure to get 8 hours of sleep, which is difficult, but it's definitely necessary. And then Epsom salt baths, make sure to roll out, and use hypervolt guns and stuff like that to massage your muscles and whatnot. So and then also supplements. I feel like magnesium.
All right, question on magnesium.
B12, all of those
Stupid
things.
question, but now I have to ask it.
What?
Argument between me and my wife all the time.
Magnesium.
Yeah, magnesium.
Arguing over magnesium.
No, I want to know. Obviously, she's in better shape than I am, so I'm trying to understand something.
Okay.
Is magnesium a sleep aid? Right? Because I take it because I take like B12 and whatever, right?
Aye.
But my wife's like, stop taking it in the morning because it's a sleep aid. It helps you sleep. And I'm like, no, you're wrong. It helps you absorb vitamin B. This is an important subject, pal. All right?
You're very lame. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Is it a sleep aid or is it not a sleep aid?
Magnesium or B12? Or both?
Magnesium.
Okay.
This conversation is clearly about magnesium.
You can take it in the morning because, like you said, it does help absorb different things throughout the day. But it does help with sleep. It does help with sleep.
It does?
It
So
does.
you're both right.
So we're both
So you're
right.
both right.
There you
That's
go.
crazy.
There you go. So
Foodie,
there.
though. Here you are exercising all the time. And
Digestive
I understand
enzyme.
you're young. What is a typical diet for you every day?
Big Mac?
No.
I'm to the point where I'm maintaining. So there's different advice I'd give to kind of different people trying to lose weight or do different things.
Right.
But because I'm at my maintaining stage, I definitely can eat some treats, sweet treats and pizza and
Nice.
wings and sushi
Wow.
and things that are burgers.
How do you get away with that, though? What do you like? Don't eat anything else the rest of the day? Or?
No, I just exercise and make sure to, for the most part, meal prep throughout the week. So chicken, turkey, ground turkey is really good,
Okay.
ground beef, rice, and then vegetables. So as long as you kind of maintain that like pretty much throughout your week and whatnot, then those occasional 2 or 3 cheat days a week don't really.
What food is an absolute no-no?
None. There are no no-nos to me. At least to
type of
me.
lady.
She's going to love New
Just
York
eat.
food.
Just
She's
Like
eat.
I
gonna
said,
love New York
I'm
food.
a little different too, because even when I was younger, people were like, "You're not going to have that body when you're 25," and here I am, a little older than 25, and I'm still rocking this body, if not better than it was before.
Yeah, there you
So,
go. Yeah.
so it could just be me as well, genetics. So maybe not for
Look
everyone.
at her rocking the body. Speaking of that, a real serious conversation. Now, you go into pro wrestling, right? And it's, historically it's been a male-dominated sport. And if you're living under a rock, we all know what's been going on with Vince McMahon and his accusations and just overall the things that have happened in wrestling and the treatment of women. Now, women have evolved, and again, like I said, I'm a huge fan of women's wrestling. Even though you love wrestling, were you concerned what you might have to face and some of the things that could happen in order to advance your career, or the things requested of you? Is that a right way to say it?
Or is
Jimmy?
Vince McMahon just like politics to you?
In that way, I do feel that. So I feel like I was warned, and then you see the dark side of the rings and the different things that have happened in the past. So as long as I feel like I am aware of these things could be something I come across, don't take drinks from strange men or people in that way, or I would never put myself in a situation to kind of get in a different position if I were to do anything sexually or whatever. So as long as I am true to myself and know that that's not something I would do, that's all I can really I can't speak for other women and
Right.
what they might do to get to different positions or whatever. So it's like I feel like there's different sides to every story. So I definitely think that as long as for me, I know like my morals and what I'm willing to do and not do, and then just hopefully maintain that throughout.
I guess so. I mean, that's a really great answer, because I guess my question to you is this: can you understand a woman or a male, who cares, doesn't matter, wanting something so bad that they're willing to give up their morals to get it? Do you understand that happening, and could you identify with that?
Yes, I can definitely identify with that, but I mean, even like now I'm like, dang, like I'm broke. I'm a upcoming wrestler. Like if only I did OnlyFans or
Right.
something like that. So I definitely, I'm not knocking it, and to each their own. But for me, like, quote unquote, I'm trying to do things the right way. And there's always, different right ways for different people. But in that way, it's just, I don't know. I just don't want to put myself in the position to one day look back and kind of say, I got here because of this, not because of my skills and abilities and what I'm capable of doing. So I don't want to be like, oh, I slept my way in, or however some people may have done it in the past or are doing it currently, who knows? But that just isn't me.
So harder question now. By the way, I don't know your parents. Kudos to your parents, because clearly
Thank you.
they've established morals
Yeah.
in this young lady. But if a woman decides to do that, or a man decides to do that, and they take money for it,
Yes.
do you feel they have a right to complain about it later?
No. I don't think that's what they chose to do. So there should be no complaining afterwards. But I do think that there are people more susceptible to being vulnerable in different social situations that maybe aren't as aware. So maybe just more education, maybe teaching women to value themselves more in that way, instead of devalue, because a lot of it comes to how they value themselves. If they don't value themselves, then how do they expect someone to value them in that way? So I think as long as we're educating women and showing them, like, you don't need to do those things to kind of get there and whatnot, I think that that's maybe the better way to go into it. But I definitely think that that's something that if they knew that going in, hey, I'm going to take loads of money and I'm going to give you this in return, and then later on complain about it. It's like, that's what you kind of did, right? To yourself in that way. So
Do you think pro wrestling, and I'm using pro wrestling because you're a wrestler, devalues women in a way like that? Because, again, look,
I think it's gotten way better.
No,
the way
it has,
used to
but,
be
Yeah.
but
compared to where it is now.
There is a sex appeal
Of course
that's
there is.
involved in this.
Of
because
course there is.
It's a male-dominated fan sport. I mean, I'm assuming tomorrow when your table
Demonstrate
line
facts.
is down the street, it's not going to have women in it. It's going to have
9 out of 10 smelly guys.
smelly guys. Thank you. Right.
Right.
Yep. So know your
Exactly. And we'll see you tomorrow.
We'll see you, smelly man.
Yeah.
I'll take all the smelly men. Come on.
By the way,
Come on.
don't feel bad. These two old guys are going to get smelly people too. Just figured I'd let you know.
That's true. That's
Not as many as you though, but we'll get smelly
Come here,
people.
smelly
No,
man.
no.
Right, we'll
Some
get
of
smelly people too.
they'll get.
You know. But by the way, I wanted to throw in real quick too. I love the fact that you talked about, of course, educate women to have more respect, for themselves, more value for themselves. It wouldn't hurt if they did that for the guys too. You don't got to be such fucking pigs.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We should have a self-respect course too while we're at it.
That's true.
I'm serious, Mike. Look at you smirking. That's facts, Jack.
I don't like
Harvey
men.
Weinstein.
I'll be honest with you.
Should have
I
been
don't-
sent to a course
I
on how to be a
I don't,
human being.
I don't like men to begin with, so it doesn't
Oh,
really
yeah,
matter.
okay, good.
I
You
like
agree
you.
with me,
I
then.
like you.
A little bit, like De Niro. A
Little bit.
little bit.
And there are women, like you had mentioned, that like want that. They find that their sexuality is like what they
That's what gets
want to
them-
bring. Yeah, that they like that part about themselves. And so I think there's room for both. I feel like you can have those badass women, people that are doing their part, and then also there might be a sex scene or something like a bikini contest like they did back then.
Yeah.
That's still like you said, we're going WWE's going to Netflix and that sort of thing. So
Right.
maybe as long as we kind of get a taste of both, so it doesn't get completely
Yeah,
eliminated.
just no,
but I do
mud,
think
no
there's
mud
room.
wrestling. No mud
more,
wrestling.
more,
Stuff like the
more,
Attitude Era,
more
please.
tough questions. And we were speaking off air about, and we'll talk about it a little later, but about the body parts that some of us have or may not have at this point. Do you feel the pressure as a woman that in order to become a WWE superstar, you may need to enhance your body unnaturally at some point?
Yes, I feel like male and female,
Yeah.
Guys, bigger muscles, women, even breast implants or BBLs, whatever. But that's something too, like I have a strong opinion about, only because I want to be that mentor to young women and children, that it's like, hey, maybe like you're enough without having to do those things. So I'm not, again, knocking anyone that has those things or may be enhanced in different ways, but I do think that it's definitely, encouraged in this field because it's very aesthetic business in that way. So it's definitely, you're going to have people commenting, oh, she has no boobs or no butt or whatever. So it's like you're going to have comments or people like speaking of these things. So as long as you're kind of self-aware and value yourself again, then I don't think that, that's going to be an issue.
I gotta tell you what, it's like sometimes when you feel like the youth of this nation, and I'm calling you because you're clearly much younger than me, we were in trouble when I hear you speak and the way you're speaking. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah, we got some hope.
Some people got their shit together.
There's some hope.
I'm highly
What about Abe?
I'm highly
Abe's a
impressed.
young man too. We got some hope.
Yeah,
Thank you.
but I'm highly impressed. I am.
Agreed. Now you told us how you decided to become a wrestler, but were you a wrestling fan at all growing up, or?
I wish that I would have been, because I wasn't necessarily. I got into it a little later, only because I was finding out like what it was, my purpose was. And so even throughout school, I was like, I don't see myself being a doctor. I feel like anyone can achieve anything that they put their minds to, but I just couldn't see myself as anything like specific until I found wrestling. And then I was like, this is it. I can use my like physical being. I can use my athleticism, use everything that I feel like my gifts and abilities like towards. And so I wish that I had watched it growing up, because I feel like that would have put me a little bit more ahead than I am now.
It would have.
But knowing
I gotta ask that question. Why do you think it would have?
Well, why do you think she said it? Because she would have been able to have mental notes of decades probably at this point. She's
But I
probably
feel
in her
like
early
I
20s.
feel like she's
been
being,
watching it for a long time.
She's being her.
She's got,
No,
I think that's great that she did it this way, but I don't think that it would hurt to have that
Okay.
vault of
Fair enough.
information in your head as you
Fair
go
enough.
into the business.
Fair enough.
At what point in the business have you felt comfortable, like, yeah, I've arrived? Because you start off as champion in OVW. Do you
I know.
already say to yourself,
honestly-
I've arrived?
Honestly, I want that to happen. I'm not there yet. I don't think that
You're not fully comfortable yet.
I'm not fully comfortable yet.
Interesting.
But I think once that click happens, once that like, oh, there's no ifs, ands, or but, like you just said, it clicks in that way. So once that happens, it's game over. So
You still get very nervous when you go out to the ring?
Not necessarily nervous, maybe before, palms sweaty, things like that. But
Yeah,
I even
that's good.
got nervous before this podcast. So it's like,
That's good.
just me in general.
Right.
I feel like in that way, but I like to be the best at everything that I do, or at least try to be. So when I'm looking to be a wrestler, I want to be one of the best one of the best women's wrestlers. So I have high expectations for myself, and I put a lot on myself. I'm the one holding myself back in that way. So I feel like once it kind of clicks, and it even comes with like training or just reps at this point, just keep, I'm still new to the industry, and because I didn't watch it growing up, it's like once it clicks in that way, it's going to be game over in that.
What's more important to you as a wrestler, mat skills or mic skills?
Oh, that's a good mix. I feel like mic skills are definitely needed. I think that if you want to carry on into even bigger things from WWE, like you see John Cena, The Rock, different people coming from that are now in the TV industry and movies and stuff like that, like you definitely need to be able to talk on the mic and that sort of thing. But if you're just there to wrestle and that's like what you're there to do, I don't see, like, some people don't talk at all, you know, and they're still great wrestlers in that way. So I would like to hopefully, you know, do even bigger things from WWE once I get there too, down the line, of course. So when I have these high expectations for myself and want to do these big dreams, I want to be good on the mic and on the technical side.
Where are you at this point in your own mind when there's nobody watching and you're doing a promo in the mirror? Where are you at right now? How far into this are you? Do you spend a lot more time doing mat work, or do you spend a lot of time privately, at least, like working on who am I going to be when I'm on camera and I got Mean Gene Okerlund talking to me, brother?
Yeah. So I actually did a recent TV tapings with WOW Women of Wrestling,
Okay.
and they had me as Nikki Nashville in their TV episodes. And when they gave me the character of Nikki Nashville, I felt like that was something I could identify a little bit more with, in the way of, like, that character had like, who is Nikki Nashville? She's from Nashville. She's a girl next door. She is a country pop star, but she's also, you know, here a badass, but also women empowerment in that way. So finding that in the J-Rod character, I'm the ultimate athlete, but I feel like at NXT and this next level, like, everyone is the ultimate athlete. So I feel like finding that maybe when it'll click the most is when I come into terms like, okay, J-Rod, the ultimate athlete. Who is she? What is she about? But like I said earlier, I'm more of just a dominant force with an athletic background. So I do maybe think that there needs to be more of, like, a character aspect that'll help me develop that side even more, even on the mic and that sort of way. So there's a lot of developing, and I think that maybe having more of, like, a gimmicky character may help bring that out in that way, you know, instead of, I feel like I'm early John Cena days when he was just, like, badass wrestler in blue and red and whatever, until he became who he is today. So it's like, I feel like I'm still finding myself, but I also am confident and know, like, what I bring to the table.
Why do I want to turn her into, like, a female version of Mr. Perfect?
See,
What is going on here?
I
Mitch
like
Seinfeld just wrote me.
Yeah.
Mitch was a guest of ours, and Mitch is one of the great spokesmen. When I mean spokesman, he worked for QVC and he did a great job. Said he's very impressed by you. So that triggers me to know that you look like you got your side. He used to be an agent for wrestlers, right? He used to run shows, so good for you. But Mrs. Perfect, I guess.
No. That vibe. We're not touching the original name
Right,
or
gotcha.
getting her stuck in the shadow of Kurt Hennig. But I like the attitude and the athlete thing, and make her arrogant, like, you know, like, my shit don't stink. I could go with that.
I got to know this though. So
I like that. I like
that.
we've had Al Snow in studio,
Yeah.
and never knew he was as intelligent
God,
as he
he's
was.
like a
Amazingly
genius.
intelligent.
He is.
How is it working with Al?
He is a genius. Like you said, he knows the character side. He knows what he wants for his show and the talent, and doesn't give any bullshit. He wants to just be upfront and let you know how things are and how they're expected to be. So I like that about him. I'm not the type, don't, you know, cookie cut or sugarcoat anything. Just tell me straight up, and that's how he is, and I love that about him.
So did he pull you to the side? The first night he gives you the belt. Second match you told me is a hardcore. He pulls you to the side. Does he go to you? Okay, so this is the deal.
No.
We got to make sure. He just throws you in it.
He throws me in
Al
it.
Snow rules.
So OVW had a show on Netflix which did pretty well. I don't know why it wasn't renewed, but I got to ask you, Al had a problem with Matt Jones and Craig Greenberg. I think it's Greenberg, right? Was that a work or a shoot? You're around it now. What's going on between those guys? Or is it just like it just was for the show?
I do think that if it's still a thing, like, between them, it's behind the scenes, because I don't see any of that stuff. I do think that show brought to life, like, a lot of the things that were going on at that time, but me coming in at the stage that they're at now, I do think that they keep everything a little bit more private when it comes to any issues, especially financially, like around talent and stuff like that.
Being you're in the position you are now, how I'm assuming, and I could be wrong, you knew that Netflix series was going. When you got there, were you like, oh boy, if they do a second season, J-Rod's going to blow up? Were you disappointed, or were you even thinking that way?
If they would have had a number 2 season or season 2, I can't talk. I mean, of course I would have blown up, but I'm gonna blow up either way. So
I'll tell you what, I'm loving the confidence. Also, I notice on your roster, EC3's on there. How often do you get to work and speak with that kind of veteran? He's been in our show numerous times.
Yeah.
Very enjoyable guest.
Yeah, he's awesome. We've gotten to talk the times that he's over at OVW, and he's from or lives in Ohio, and that's where I'm from. So we've talked. I want to go over there some and try to do some stuff just in the state in general. I'm from Ohio, and I have yet to wrestle there. So he's looking at different ways to kind of fit me in, storylines, that sort of thing. But yeah, we talk, and he's really cool, and I do admire like what he's done in the business as well.
So you're around this network, this family, and we've seen it a million times. How does J-Rod stay out of falling into a relationship with a fellow wrestler?
They don't use deodorant.
Well, I won't comment because I may or may not be dating a fellow wrestler.
Look at that. Am I smart?
I guess somebody uses deodorant. Someone's using deodorant.
So, all right. I'm not asking you to tell us who it is.
I'm not going to tell you who it is.
I'm not. But my question is,
oh, yes, you are.
Was it easy to fall into that, being that you're a wrestling fan and being as talented as you are, and I'm sure you're attracted to physical beings, right?
You make me laugh.
I'm
physical beings. What is this, science class?
No.
You're attracted to hot guys. Yeah. So, I mean, it's bound to happen, right?
That's how you know. See, there's the difference,
She understood
right?
every word I said.
I'm well aware of today's society.
Oh,
right? We don't know each other.
You make
well.
me.
I don't know what side of the fence you're on
would
at
you
all, so I'm trying to be
please?
respectful.
There's nothing offensive.
He's instantly thinking you're heterosexual, which could be offensive to someone. So I'm trying to be very careful.
Oh, you know what? You
here.
are right about that. I said hot guys. You're right.
There you go. See how smart I am?
You're right. You're smart. You're
I will
pretty
ask you this: how do you not? Like, do you know this is going to happen? Because it's almost like destined, right? You're in this group, and it's like you can't.
I can't help it. They're all so good looking.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I told myself I wasn't going to date anybody until
So
I
much
made
for
it,
that.
whatever, etc. But you're either in this boat or you're out because I'm going,
Yeah.
So for me, it was like you kind of had to fit like a puzzle piece or else it wasn't going to happen. And the guy I ended up dating.
See, now she made it clear. Now we feel a little more.
And you had
open on
me
the
trying to
conversation.
squirm. Oh, Jimmy's not
I
being
just
proper.
wanted to be very careful.
I assumed correctly.
But thank you for letting me off the hook there.
I felt like the
No, it's me
stars
she's letting off
aligned.
the hook.
I felt like the stars aligned in the way. He's from Chicago. I'm from Ohio. We both ended up out in California at Rikishi's school at Knox Pro Academy. And then he ended up having family in Tennessee. And then my mom's side of the family's in Tennessee. And then he has a dog. I have a dog. My priorities are the gym. So it's like, okay, sorry, I have to let my dog out. Oh, wait, he has to let his dog out too. Oh, I have to go to the gym. Oh, wait, I have to go to the gym. I have to go to,
similar
everything.
similar
like
lifestyles.
similar lifestyles
Right.
in that way. So kind of everything kind of fit perfectly to like make that happen, or else I really don't think that it would have.
Let me ask you this though: Does Al like pull you to the side and go, "Look, I know what you're doing, and I get it, but you're making a mistake here, kid. You need to focus on your career." Does that conversation take place?
No, because I do feel like I prioritize my dream and my career. I feel like that was something my significant other has known getting into a relationship with me. I feel like it was one of those things that was like I said, you're either in this boat or you're not. I'm going here. So it's like if you're not supportive and if you don't, let me prioritize this the way that I need to, bye. I gotta, make it happen.
She's answering the question because I was going to ask you, when you blow up, and I'm saying when, and he's left in the dust, right? Because he's still stuck in OVW, and you're blowing up. It's like
Pete Best from the Beatles.
Are you gonna feel
with
bad
Ringo?
for the guy?
I
You'll be
mean,
like, yo, God, it is what it is, bud. I'm sorry.
Hey, if he hangs on, he's coming for the ride too.
I'm in
you
this
know?
boat, but apparently, fling, you're not anymore. So long, sucker. Holy moly.
Big
Wow.
fan. I'm personally a big fan of Katie Ganon, who's also an OVW. And I asked you earlier. I thought I saw you in some kind of stick with her, like some kind of gimmick thing going on.
Shtick?
Yeah,
A shtick.
a shtick.
A shtick. Yeah.
I guess my question. I don't even know what my question is. Two different type of wrestlers, two different looks.
Right.
First of all, thoughts on Katie Ganon?
That was my first time meeting her this week. She was really cool. And I'm assuming she used to be with OVW before I was there, and then now she's returned. And so her coming in as a heel character, I think is going to be fun for her. And then she got put on the spot pretty quickly as well. So she got thrown into multiple segments, talking segments, different things like that. So I'm all for seeing girls taking challenges and then killing it. So I see that, the first time that I met her was this week, and we worked together because we're both now a part of the Revolution. So seeing her kill it and taking on those different things, I think that's really cool to see.
Well, she handled this like a champ, dude.
She is a champ.
Okay.
She came
you.
into the show as a champ.
So
got
we're
a
gonna
belt to
hit
prove
you
it.
something with something called the Pharaoh's final question.
Oh, no.
This is unscripted. I have no idea what he's going to ask you. I have no clue. Jimmy?
All right. Well, you said you weren't a fan growing up, but now that you've been in the business, is there anybody you aspire to be like, whether it's a Becky Lynch or a Charlotte Flair or an Io Sky or whoever it may be? Anybody in particular you might be, looking up to?
I would say Beth Phoenix.
Beth Phoenix.
Yeah.
Nice.
She's the glamazon, right?
Oh,
so
she's powerful.
I
I mean,
see
my
myself
God.
as that Amazonian type character,
Really?
as well as, also trying to maintain the beauty standard in that way. So
Right.
a little bit of both. I think kind of she could do it all. She was strong, beautiful, sexy, all the things.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I see myself like as well.
Okay, so she's influential. So one last one. Who is your favorite wrestler of all time if you had to pick one?
Of
Male
all
or
time?
all female? Like, who's your, like for us, it's Hogan. Who's your Hogan? You got one?
Alundra Blaze.
Wow.
Nice.
I
That's a
know.
great pick, by the way.
See, I did my research because
Yeah,
I didn't
but
grow
that
up. I had to, do some research.
Hit the library.
Yep, hit the library. And so she was one of the people that really just
She's
paved the way.
great role
And-
model to have
and-
for you.
Yep. And so she's, a badass, and like you said, she's my Hogan. So
There you go.
Are you in fear at all when you make it like that you could possibly fall into some of the traps that have affected wrestlers in the past? You see a lot of, especially in wrestling. I know in all sports, but really in wrestling, there's a lot of strange and bad things that go on. And again, you've clearly said you've got your moral standard, and we're not talking about sexual stuff. Are you ever in fear like you could get caught up into that whole drug world, or maybe wrestling's a totally different?
Or how
thing
about
now, right
how
now?
about since you are so physical, how about getting addicted to painkillers?
Yes.
Stuff like
Yeah,
that. The things
absolutely.
that wrestlers, unfortunately,
Yeah.
in the past historically have fallen victim to. Do you worry about those sorts of things?
So I honestly don't like prescription medications.
Me
and
neither.
that sort of thing.
that works.
Maybe a little herbal medication.
I
and-
like herbal
and that's
medication.
wellness, WWE approved.
So there. Go on.
But I try to look at the past, like you said, and it was a huge factor
it's bad.
in
Bad.
people's detriment. So I just know that that's something that I obviously need to take into consideration going into this field, and knowing that pain and that sort of thing's gonna be there. So as long as I kind of just don't put myself into those situations, thankfully I don't feel like I'm too heavily influenced in that way. Especially like I had mentioned, I was a bartender and whatnot. So even me drinking now, I will have maybe an occasional cocktail, but as far as like I get hungover, I'm like no, like I
You
can't
were that
hang.
waitress doing the fake shots, right? Like putting water
that
in
was
there,
me.
like, oh yeah, let's go.
That was me. Yep. So no, I feel like even in those situations, I feel very responsible, and I feel like knowing what people have gone through, it's kind of learning from their mistakes before I get in, So it's like, oh, they fucked up in this way. Let me not do that.
Right.
No, it's great.
Learn from other mistakes.
All right, I gotta ask this final question. This is the toughest one of it
you're
all.
diminishing the effectiveness of Pharaoh's final
I know,
question
I
when
am.
you add another 6
But
questions.
you will enjoy this
You
one. I
jackhammer.
promise you. You're gonna enjoy this one.
I'm sure I will. Go ahead.
You eventually get to the WWE.
Oh, I'm liking it already.
You're
Go ahead.
dating this guy we don't know. We just know he's from Chicago at this point.
Mean Mark
Here you
Marrow?
are blowing
What are you
up.
getting at?
Hold on.
Okay, go
It's a
ahead.
very important question.
All right, I believe it is. Go ahead.
You're getting ready in the locker room, and here comes Roman Reigns.
Oh, shit.
And Roman recently has just got divorced.
Oh, shit.
He's divorced now. He got divorced.
The tribal chief?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And Roman sees
my
you,
God.
beautiful lady, says,
Acknowledge
J-Rod,
me.
acknowledge me. I want to go on a date with you. Do you call your friend from Chicago and say,
Come on, dude.
game over?
That's rough. She's gonna
I'm
have
going
to-
out with Roman.
That's rough.
Let's just say there have been people already that are there that have tried, and sorry, I've got a boyfriend.
Wow.
If you smell what J-Rod is cooking.
Seriously, thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow. You're fantastic. Great
Thank
guest.
you,
Thank you
you.
for having a good time with us. And
You guys are fun. Thank you. I'm
Thank
glad
you.
you didn't ask me a lot of the questions that I thought you might.
Are you relieved?
I'm relieved.
Did your deodorant hold up?
Wait,
said you
wait,
were
wait.
sweating.
I
You
need
said
to
you
know
were
what
sweating.
did you think we were going to ask? I got to have one question that you thought.
Well, you asked me who like a million different people were before the show, and I had no idea who any of them
No,
were.
let's
I
not get
will.
into that. We can't
No,
get
we
into
can't
that. That's
get
part of the
into
next
that.
show.
Listen,
Those questions. Those ridiculous.
Those were very difficult
She's not
questions.
supposed to know those anyway.
I will tell you the
Okay.
the Monte The Pharaoh family, very impressed by you. I'm sure you're gaining tons of fans as we go. I'm a fan now. And,
Thank you.
I'm so glad to have you on. I want to thank Richie for bringing you in. And that's it, Jimmy. Send us out.
You've been watching Monte and the Pharaoh with a future women's world champion. And until a few moments from now, when we get the awesome trio from EC Dub, later.